My name is Rhapsody, and welcome back to SpellRogue. It's definitely time for an Azar episode.
How bold of you.
But unfortunately, we are still yet to unlock the D loadout here. That said, if we trip over at the very start of the run, we will still probably get 12 experience points, which will get us to level 7 on Azar, earning us one of the golden die that we need in order to get that unlock, and then we'll be looping around to other characters and getting it by the time we come back. So, last Azar episode, I believe, was a loadout A. Let's go with loadout B. So this, again, is the signature spell Mana Purification. Returns a dice with double its value. It accepts a 1 to a 4, and it does it twice a turn. A 4 will return as a 6, and also a 2. There's also the defensive spell, a 6 countdown Dawn Dome, with 2 charges, gives 5 block, and then 5 countdown 3 times a turn you can use Blinding Brilliance, the attack. Deals 5 damage and applies 1 weak. So a lot of the time we're going to be trying to use that weak to avoid even having to defend, so that we can kind of just keep up on the offense. Mutation stage 6, we can see we're on a win streak of 2. We can see we've also got all 3 of the characters having completed mutation stage 6. Hell yeah. Retrieve 10 shards from disenchanted spells, kill 10 enemies with poison, and I believe the final one, I can't recall. Okay, what do we want here? Obstacle! All enemies gain 12 block turn 1, sure. No problem whatsoever. Inhibition, you can only cast 6 spells in a turn. I don't know, I really like being able to go Radiant. Tempest, at the end of every second turn, receives 6 damage. I don't want to have that, but that could theoretically be built around. Engorge, all enemies start with 1 grow. Long fights will get pretty brutal with that. Hush, 5th spell cast each turn receives 2 mute. No. I'm not locking out my limited options. Oof. This is a toughie. I can't turn all of these down. I could go Scarcity. 2 fewer options in drafts? I don't want to be taking that, but I also don't want to take a lot of these other ones, so... Can only cast 6 spells at a turn. End of every second turn receives 6 damage. Scarcity is real. I don't think I can take Tempest++. Receive 1 sap and have 2 Rupture on turn 2. So reduced block gain from spells and increased damage taken from enemies on that same turn. Not very keen for both of those. I could take Deprived, which means if I did take both of those, that's it. Boom, my 20. I'm gonna take it, and I'm not gonna like it. Also rolled 40 wound die. Oh, you're kidding me. -2 options in drafts. That also affects the opening artifact choice here. So we just get the Phoenix Pendant. Heal 5 health at the end of each combat. Honestly, pretty damn good. I'm gonna put myself on this deadline straight towards an enemy. Afterwards, there's a shop. I really need to be able to build some power in a shop. It'll give me a lot more choice than anything else will. So my goal on a turn like this has to just be defend and then prepare spells. Because I can't do damage. If I hit 3 Blinding Brilliances on that turn, I would be able to do 3 damage to 1 target, and then I would also take some damage. I guess unless it was the backline the entire time. Okay. So 2 attacks takes down the backline. And then I would be able to defend for 4. Or I could try and weaken the enemy, in which case I'd still be taking 5. Sure. Let's only take 2 damage. Well, I guess actually I can plan around having 5 health at the end of combat that I plan on healing with the Phoenix Pendant. So yeah, no, maybe I should be a little bit more aggressive in situations like that. Speaking of more aggressive, I can more aggressively take health loss triggers because Phoenix Pendant will give me some health back at the end of the combat. Vindictive Strike. So it's a 10 countdown. It deals 12 damage to the front enemy. It has 2 charges. And on health loss, lower the countdown by 2. Sure. If I have a rough elite fight, that'll at least make sure I survive it. Spine Fiend is a berserker. Gains 1 power whenever attacked by spells. Rude. So I will defend and then start pre-baking attacks for the next turn. I can hit him with 2 Vindictive Strikes as well, so if I roll a 4 here, that'll work, I think. Got a 2 for Vindictive Strike number 1, and then Vindictive Strike number 2 is enough damage to take the enemy out. We pick up a Phoenix Pearls, rolling 4 1s. Kindle. Countdown 2. 1 charge. Roll a 3 to a 6. The upgrades give it the ability to accept a 6, and then it'll roll 2 3 to 6s, or have an additional charge. I really don't see the utility in taking Kindle here, but also I don't want to spend any of my money until I get past the shop. Strange Presence. Accepts a 5 or a 6, you gain 6 block, and then you roll a Vex die. I do like that as a pretty good defensive tool. Especially because once upgraded, it rolls 2 Vex dice, so it can be particularly effective. Or I could take a Blast Pot and keep my more money. I'm going to take the Blast Pot and keep the money here. I can have Vindictive Strike deal more damage, or I can have it lower its cooldown more when health is lost. I think I'll need more damage to help push through this elite fight. And then also, if I want to sub out a Vindictive Strike, I can retrieve it from a disenchanted spell anyway. And that's something I need to do. Oh, Corrupted Abbot. Okay, you can hit me for 6 damage. There you are, trying to do that. And in return, I would be able to start Vindictive Striking you, but I don't want to do that this turn. Because I can weaken the enemy twice this turn, taking no damage for doing so. And then I can actually do some damage to you. On turn 1. There you go. Cop 17. Well, 15, but 17. At the end of this turn, each of these infecteds will try and deal 1 damage to me. Cool. Weakening the enemy versus Dawn Doming. I'd love to do both. I'm gonna defend for 8 here. And then Mana Purify, rolling a Kindle. Oh, that does go back on Blinding Brilliance, damn. That's the one I didn't want it to infect, because now I have to give myself another 2 damage at the end of this turn, and that damage is amplified by Rupture. If I want to use the Blinding Brilliance. Fine, so I'm gonna avoid doing that. Ugh. Well, at least I got to cast Vindictive Strike. I am straight up just going to accept this 3 damage and punch the enemy twice here. And then I'm just going to vindictively strike my way through this. Got him! 5 health back. Didn't even have to use the potions. Bunch more gold. That's enough to get an an artifact. 12 block? That's probably more useful than 4 ones in this build. Well, Gathering Flames uses 1s to grant us power. I'll take it, but I don't want it. Greenbeard Helmet, keep up to 10 block between rounds or another shard, which I'll take. Let's move to the shop, and now we can get a lot of different choices at once. For each second time losing health, gain 1 power, the dilapidated crown. If I had things giving me less health or taking hits on me, this build would go off, but I don't have access to that right now. Banefire, gain Banefire, which just does damage to the front enemy and then reduces itself by 1 at the end of the round. Zeal of the Sun, destroy all dice, gain block for each dice destroyed, but we don't have any of the things that get better for destroyed dice, and then Fireball as well. I mean, Ghost Charm and Plague Pestle, both of those are really good. I'm gonna sell both Gathering Flames and Kindle because neither of those is getting used, I can tell you that. And then, like, realistically, I can't afford to just take I don't have enough health gain. I've just got 5 from Phoenix Pendant. What is my plan? Take damage to enemies and then heal it back up? A lot of these enemies will do enough damage that I'm not going to be able to take the hit. Whatever, I'm going to try it. Yeah. Alright. Hello, Elite Fight. Do I want to go to that? No, I'm going to go to a battle before the Elite Fight. Yeah, I have an unspent shard. I can't use it on anything except for expanding my... the expansion. Expanding my spellbook. So I should plan to full defend for these fights. So that I can actually heal back up from my position. So the backline I'm not going to be capable of killing because Vindictive Strike only hits the frontliner, so I'd have to cast Vindictive Strike twice, and then I wouldn't have the ability to even hit the backliner with the rest of it. I almost wonder if I should use a potion, because I'm going to feel really silly if after this I get a potion anyway. Take a chance. I will be taking 2 damage here. This is still the most defensive I'm capable of being right now. The backliner is still the one trying to fight. Which means I can just hit them with 2 blinding brilliances. Take them out. And then just work towards a couple of Vindictive Strikes. So I do heal 3 ultimately out of this battle. 6, 3, 1, get him! Falling Fire. Deal 14 damage and 5 damage to adjacent enemies. Admittedly, yeah, I would love to be able to do some AoE damage. It's gonna be a problem pretty soon, so sure, I'll take that. Do I want to immediately upgrade it? I am about to go into a boss battle that's also an AoE fight. So I can either increase the damage it does to adjacents by 10, or I can increase the damage it does, sorry, by 5 each, or I can increase the damage it does to the main target by 7. So there's more damage potential by increasing the adjacents, but you're not always attacking adjacents. In which case I would use Vindictive Strike instead. So I will give the extra damage to adjacents. And I'll have a shard in this next elite battle anyway, if I find something after it I want to use a shard for. I do feel like I should just prepare a bunch of my spells. Especially because this turn 2 is additionally bad, what with the sap and the rupture. Go 1 and 6. And then weaken the enemy and do some damage. So I'm going to be taking 3 damage this turn, I'll be gaining 1 power, and my Vindictive Strike will get closer to triggering. Ooh, the Blinding Brilliance is ignited. I'm happy to see that. Sure. Let's invest in Dawn Dome twice. Taking no damage now. And the enemy is going to seek to intensify again this turn. So this is the turn that I do my damage. Ooh, 2 4s. Love that. Double those both into a 6 and a 2, so I can use those 2s to trigger Vindictive Strike and Fire Falling. And then, in fact, I'll trigger another Vindictive Strike and invest 1 towards the next Firefall. That'll do. 1 more Vindictive Strike takes the enemy out. Incinerate! For 9 countdown, twice a turn, deal 12 damage. Upgrade that to 17, or apply 3-way. Yeah, I'm re-rolling here. Roaring Embers. Countdown 8, deal 1 damage. Increase by 4 for each dice spent. I mean, now I have something to put low die into, but I don't really want to. Guiding Eye, end of each turn. If less than 6 spells have been cast, gain 1 foresight. I'm not currently casting more than 6 spells, and that's just rolling an additional die each turn, except for the first turn, right now. That's pretty compelling. That's pretty compelling. I'll take it. I don't think I'm using Roaring Embers. Heck, I might even disenchant it right now to gain some more max HP, and when I say I might, what I mean is I did. This build doesn't have any feet yet. It'll get along. It's not going to have a huge amount of difficulty getting along, but it's going to take a while until it's really capable of doing anything, you know? A 6, a 4 and a 2, fully defended, and now I can start pre-baking Falling Fire. I get 1 foresight, setting me up for this turn. 6 and a 1 completes our first Falling Fire. Another 6 and another 6 completes our second. That also stuns the Heart of the Forest and gets both roots of the forest down to 1 Falling Fire away from dead. And then the root of the forest here is looking to do 6 damage to me. Yeah, that's fine. I'm gonna start pre-baking some defense in Dawn Dome. The curse takes hold. Full defense against that Dawn Dome, though. And we'll get our Falling Fire prepared for the next turn as well. That'll do it. With a 2 and a 1, we can complete the first Falling Fire, and that takes out both roots of the forest. And now it doesn't make sense to continue using Falling Fire as my primary damage. As Vindictive Strike way outmodes it, and also allows me to actually stun the enemy. I should full defend this turn. Even if I really do want to be more aggressive, the Dilapidated Crown is going to give us... I mean, I've also won the battle already, so it's just about patience here. But the Dilapidated Crown is going to give us a power the next time I take damage. Which, if I allowed myself to take damage in order to push the end of the fight, even if I would heal back up, I would still be one more trigger further away from taking my next power. So we'll be optimizing around that wherever it's, you know, free and appropriate to do so. Other than that, we'll just vindictively strike the enemy to death. A little bit of health gain, some gold, a shard. Oh gosh. Balanced Mana Pearl. On turn 2, 4, and 6, so on even turns, roll an even value die. Honestly, yeah. Love it. I'm so glad that I got one that I could happily take there. Okay, so there is a shop on the path with 2 elites, and it's relatively early. That's the one I'm going to be going down. Nothing about the build I really want to change right now. That shard being spent can't do anything except expand the spell book. So I would just have an empty space. Woof. I probably don't want to be triple sapped next turn, so whatever I can do about that spinning grub, I would love to. However, what I'm capable of doing about it is nothing. Yeah, that's a lot of incoming damage this turn. However, can I actually just kill you all? So, Falling Fire, 14 damage. And then if I do that 2 times on the backline target, I've done 20 damage to the front line as well, leaving you with enough HP. Yeah, I can kill you all. It goes something like this. Falling Fire on the backline. Another Falling Fire on that backline. And then a Vindictive Strike to take out the trio. Being able to prepare all of my attack spells to come out swinging on turn 2 is pretty good. yeah, attacks gain 20% lifesteal for 1 turn is going to give me the ability to heal up very, very effectively. It's probably going to be more impactful than the Iron Skin Potion. Fickle Barrier will only accept a 2, but it will give us 4 block. I'm going to take it again because I would really like to keep my money before I get to that shop, but I'm still not happy about it. And then this dropped for Bloodlust. 33% extra attack damage and 33% extra damage received. I'm gonna take it. I'm so mad about this ritual thing. Lose Guiding Eye and gain a shard. I did take Guiding Eye over a shard, you see. Lose Dawn Dome. Dawn Dome. Oh, Dawn Dome. And gain 75 gold. Ooh, that's very appealing. And there's Ether Echo. Return the dice with ether that you put into it, giving it the ability to persist and consistently lower cooldowns for us, but that's way too much building up to do for this build. I'm going to take the Dawn Dome for money here. Drop Fickle Barrier in its position to see if that'll help me through one fight, but ultimately I'm looking to try and gain some better defense back here in the shop. Fickle Barrier also does have, if your health is 50% or less, heal 2 health. Curious. Send to the battle. Hello, Warlock. You do multi-attack, but unfortunately, you do multi-attack big. Yeah, I'm gonna have to heal on a following turn. The best defense I'm capable of generating this turn is hitting the enemy. Well, Vindictive Strike's getting closer to cast. I could certainly Bloodlust this turn, and I certainly should. Hit the enemy with Vindictive Strike for 24 damage. And then again with a Vindictive Strike. Three Vexed, eh? I don't have to worry about turning off Bloodlust right now, because the enemy's not attacking. And in fact, I don't think I'll have to worry about turning it off at all. Goodbye to the Warlock. Took a couple Vindictive Strikes, but we got him down. Channel Mana! On a 1, this is not a build that's good at generating 1s. The Mana Purification kind of makes sure of that. I'm not splitting a bunch of die either. This is not appropriate for me. Well, again, take it, and then we're taking it to the shop, and we're selling it. Crescendo! 18? Countdown, once a turn, deals 24 damage. Each turn lowers its own countdown by 2. We're not going to have an incredible amount of longevity in fights, is the thing. Crescendo will cast every 3rd turn after an upgrade. Enchanting Effigy. Each turn, add a charge to a random spell. Wheel of Vigor. For each 3 spells, attack spells rather, cast in a single turn, gain 3 block. I do like that. On enemy death, roll a die. I might actually have to use Fickle Barrier for my defense for a while, unfortunately. Logiston. I'm not going to be using Banefire that much, to be frank. Incinerate we've seen before. I will take Crescendo, and I am also going to upgrade Crescendo to Countdown faster. And I'm going to replace Vindictive Strike with Crescendo. For each 3 attack spells cast in a single turn. I just don't do that often enough, but if it ever triggers, it is really useful for me. I'm going to take Wheel of Vigor. And then on enemy death, roll a die. Not usually essential, but especially because I have an AoE spell already upgraded, I will take Chaos Crystal as well. I do feel like if I'm going into an elite fight that I don't feel comfortable in, I really, really, really should have Vindictive Strike out on the field. I almost feel like I should take it over Blinding Brilliance. Woof. No ability to weaken the enemies now. Oh, but look, I am going to be happy that I have Falling Fire here. I am going to be happy for that, at least. So doubling a 4 does give me a 6 and 2. So with that 2, I can put 1 into Fickle Barrier. Whoa! And I'm looking to prepare Falling Fire to cast next turn. I also want to prepare Crescendo. So yeah, I'm going to take some damage this turn. That's okay. That happens. Crescendo does 25 damage to the midliner. And then I want to toggle my Bloodlust totem. Do another 20 damage to that midliner, and then another 15 to each side of you. Roll an additional die. Because an enemy died, you see. I don't appear to have actually used my Vampire Essence, which I was trying to use at the start of the turn. That was a lot of the point, actually. As it turns out. I'm going to gain some 6s. Throw those into another Falling Fire. Then a Vindictive Strike. Rolled low. Not going to be able to take out the final enemy with a Vindictive Strike this turn, unfortunately, but I can turn off Bloodlust and take less damage. That's only 1. Alright. Oh, whoops. I'm gonna have to take more damage again, unfortunately. Well, in the end, I managed to get you down. Woohoo. We heal 5 again. Thank you, Phoenix Brand. Furnace. This is something I have been possibly looking for. Other spells get -1 countdown for each dice spent in Furnace. It has 6 countdowns, so you're looking to put your low die in that. I mean, I can take it. It would help me cast my big countdown spells. The only thing is I also don't have defense, and it really feels like I should be re-rolling for defense. This is not defense, but it is health. Extract, deal 12 damage. If lethal, heal 4 health. Tempest, cast 3 countdown spells, -3 to the leftmost playable countdown spell. I do still like that. I honestly think Extract is going to be more powerful than the Fickle Barrier for us. I would love to see a good defensive option. Just something, please. So we'll still be looking to pre-bake our offense for a turn. Two Falling Fires will take out the midline Imp Hatchling, who's the only one attacking this turn. Good to see. Double both 4s in order to get the maximum value out here. I'm also going to trigger Bloodlust. Insert 1 into Falling Fire. Ba-boom! Great damage. Maybe I want to extract exclusively to get my kills. That does seem right. Gonna extract you for some health. Then I'm gonna extract you for some health. Healing 4 apiece each time. And we can drop a giant Vindictive Strike on ya. And heck, even finish off with another one. Builds a good one when the enemies are sparse and small and every possible benefit is on my side. Phlogistone's not going to be helpful here. I re-roll. I find Iron Guard on a 1 to a 5, gain X block. On a 6, gain 1 power. That's the ability to gain some block. It's something. I'm going to go to the Elite Battle without it though. Oh, hello, Jin. Again, I'll be looking to pre-bake an effect here, and having some AoE available on the next turn seems especially useful. As I know the enemy is going to be summoning an illusion of themselves. We found it. Yeah, I won't be able to extract the Jinn. That wouldn't work. It wouldn't make any sense to. I'd love not to be dazed, but I am, so that's difficult. It's still counted as an enemy. Well, I guess an enemy death is different to lethal versus the lethal keyword saying that it has to trigger an enemy without summon. The reason for that obviously being so that you don't just stay in a fight infinitely and keep waiting for things to be summoned and keep trying to engage in a non-fun play strategy in order to gain more out of combat resources. Like health. Which is why it wouldn't make sense if the illusions were capable of it. Here. Same reasoning. I could use a smoke screen to dodge some incoming damage. But I can also not. World's our oyster. I attack for a third time, gaining 6 block at least. Unfortunately, the crescendo misses. Well, it gives me a nice opportunity to check if extract would give me health in this instance, and it wouldn't. Good. I'm glad to see that, frankly. Still looking to pre-bake the next Falling Fire. Heck, I'll even take no damage this turn, gain the additional Foresight. Oh, gosh, I'm dazed all the time. Oh, this is the turn for it, though. Drop a Falling Fire on the enemies. And you are at the front, that's perfect. I can drop Crescendo for 23 on the front line, and then I exactly have enough for a Vindictive Strike to take you out. No more Jinn. I'll gain a Shard, as well as some money, and a spell. Heatwave. On a 5 to a 6, apply 2 weak to all enemies, and then roll a 1 to a 2. I mean, look, it's not what I asked for, but it is here. Death Mask! For each 3 attack spells played in a single turn, apply 1 weak to all enemies. Can't take that. I need a shard to open this slot up so I can drop a Heatwave in. And then in the final fight, I don't need Extract. I will take instead Iron Guard. Should it be Iron Guard? Maybe it should be Fickle Barrier. Definitely gonna need the full 25 health here, thank you. And we're in the boss battle against the Hydra. Well, hey. Seldom had more 2s. Drop 2 of those into the Fickle Barrier. And I can get the Crescendo to cast at the start of the next turn. And I'll start working on Preemptive Strike. That worked out really well. Big old Crescendo for 24 damage immediately goes off. We roll an even die from our Balanced Mana Pearl. I'll double 2 4s, getting 6s as well as 2s, which can go into the Fickle Barrier for us here. Let's also throw a Vindictive Strike at the enemy. Throw a 5 in Heatwave for some weakness as well as a reroll. If that got a 2, it would have been another Fickle Barrier for us. One more attack will get me the full defense, though. And we'll start baking a Falling Fire for a later turn to help damage the Green Hydra heads that will exist after this. I'm gonna do 17 damage to the Green Hydra in order to take it off the field right now. Yeah, and we'll just be working towards Falling Fire again, if I had to guess. I should Bloodlust this turn if I'm intending to do a lot of damage. I am absolutely intending to do a lot of damage. Falling Fire is one example. Pickle Barrier is some defense for us. I'm not going to be able to attack 3 times this turn, I don't believe. Well, if I cast a countdown... Actually, I will. Wow. I crescendo the frontliner. That'll Tempest Vindictive Strike to the point that I can cast it as well, gaining some more defense, and then I turn my Bloodlust off. I'm going to take exactly 1 health damage here, which is going to help for all of my on health loss triggers, of which there are 2 only, the Vindictive Strike as well as the Dilapidated Crown up there. Incoming damage this turn is 9, but it's also in the most vulnerable position. I hit you with a Falling Fire and you die. In fact, I hit the target behind you with a Falling Fire and you still die. I can turn my Bloodlust on right now because I'm not going to have to worry about a downside. Sure, I'll Vindictive Strike for another 23 damage, and then also that will cast Tempest to lower the cost of the next Vindictive Strike. And I'll have enough energy this turn to turn Bloodlust off at the end. Oh wow, that's a lot of 4s. That's pretty good for us. Just a little joke. Let's hit him with a double Falling Fire. I would love to be able to use the second Falling Fire, actually, and I'm not going to be able to. I can use a Vindictive Strike still to take out the frontliner, and in doing so, roll another die. And lower the incoming damage by 18. That's pretty good. Because I'm going to get out of Bloodlust after this, I'm going to throw another 6 into Crescendo. Then 2 into Fickle Barrier, and 1 into Vindictive Strike, and then turn off Bloodlust, taking only 5 damage. Gives us an additional power, as well as making Vindictive Strike next easier to cast. Ooh, this is the kind of turn that you really want to be overly defensive on. I'm not good at that, though. I'm going to use Heat Wave twice here, applying 2 weak to all enemies twice. Hoping for only 2s on the rerolls. I get a 2, but I also get a 1. Let's throw another 6 damage, 6 into Crescendo to pre-bake it for casting next turn. We're in the position where casting Falling Fire will kill a target for us. So let's get 2 6s in Falling Fire, hit the middle. There goes the frontline head. And in fact, how many more spells can I cast without ending the fight? Not that many. Okay. Let's take out the Hydra. I don't see how this is going to work against Arcanax is the big problem right now. Darkwraith Scythe. Roll 1 less die each turn. But each turn also gain 2 critical. That would make it more likely that I activate the Guiding Eye each turn, which is getting me a die back. And 2 critical? Our first 2 attacks do double damage, like crescendo? Honestly, that's probably sick for this run. It's probably sick, and it might even be nasty. I'm going to unlock the additional slot to get Extract out on the field. I'm holding onto the smoke screen like my life depends on it. 'Cause it does. In this final fight, it will be of extreme importance. I rolled 2 die on turn 1. Oh, God. Okay. I really need the Bloodlust as my next ritual, and I'm only going to be offered 1. There you go, 48 damage. Hit him with a preemptive strike. Splits itself into 2 smaller oozes when it dies. Wait, it's not my damage that's the problem, it's my energy. Woof. Yep, 1 damage off of being able to... One die, 1 pip off of being able to prevent a lot of incoming damage here. Alas. I really hope that Extract is good. Please? Yep, it gives me health by killing the ooze. That's great. Double this with Mana Purification and then hit the front for a bunch of damage. That's just to set me up for a easy Extract turn. There's the big Extract against the first target. And realistically, I just have to kill you now, right? Yep. Kindle, eh? I'm gonna take the reroll. Roaring Embers, don't want that. I already turned it down earlier in this run. Well, at least I got a shop in a couple spaces time. Lifelock! Gain 1 vitality. On health loss, heal 1 health, removed at end of round, and wound. When spent in the spell, lose health equal to half die value. Round it up. I mean, honestly, yeah, it's kind of what we want with this build. I just don't know if this build works. Burning both ends. Deal 16 damage, lose 3 health. It's a way to trigger my lose health things. Burning bars, all spells, -6 countdown. There's also Stupefying Stone. Apply 5 weak to all enemies on turn 1. Legitimately, probably huge for us. Cube of Darkness. Roll a Stygian die on turn 1, which does damage to the front enemy at the end of its turn, then re-rolls itself. And then Void Burn Sensor. Deal 1 damage to the front enemy for each dice roll this turn. I'm taking the Stupefying Stone. I kind of want to take Burning both ends. I feel like I need to get out of Falling Fire. I still have elites is the thing. Falling Fire could still be relevant. Taking Burning both ends down to only losing 1 health would make it one of my most efficient attacks. And I'm also going to take the all spells get -6 to their countdown. I legitimately suspect at this point that Heatwave is not even worth running versus just damaging the enemy instead. And I should probably get as much max health as possible. Crescendo is huge, reliable damage. I don't want to turn that off. Hello. It's the Chaos Angel. You've got your depleting presence. All spells will only restore 1 charge each turn. So I should make sure I don't overspend anything that I'd really like not to. Gaining 5 Fury and 15 block next turn, eh? Oof. I should hit burning both ends on you and then pre-bake part of Crescendo. Yeah, the enemy's attacking for a big amount this turn. Crescendo starts off the turn for us, though, with 25 damage against the enemy. I suspect maybe I should have rolled the wound dice last turn. Let me gain my smoke screen just because I also don't know if I'm going to find another potion and want to replace it. And then this turn, gain vitality, roll a wounded die, and I'll toggle bloodlust. Can't extract this enemy for enough damage right this turn. It's okay, I'll have the ability to do it for the lethal next turn. Take some health, buddy. Thank you kindly. Flask of Echoes, gain a spell echo. Definitely worthwhile. Iron Guard, reroll. Flying Visage, gain block. More for more block spent. Trap Spellwind, on turn 1, roll a die. That's useful. However, Extract is not going to be good in the final fight, right? We know Extract's not useful for the final fight. In that instance, I can drop Heatwave in instead if I really want to. But in terms of additional shards and what they can give to us, I don't see how I get through Arcanax. I still don't. Take the additional shard. Burning both ends could do 48 damage by itself. The thing is, I'm also spending my own health consistently whilst doing that. I gotta do something. Mana Devourer has mana hunger. Greatly unfortunately, I will be taking some damage this turn. It's okay, next turn I roll the wound die with a vitality. Gonna gain bloodlust, gain vitality in the wound die. If I hit the enemy with the burning both ends, a Vindictive Strike will immediately go off as well. Which will stop me from actually managing to do that. Alright, fine. Actually, I've managed to find a way where I will be able to extract twice. Phew! That's very handy. Gain some health back, an additional 5 at the end with a Phoenix Pendant. That is working out really well. Zeal of the Sun, no, reroll. Chaotic Moment! Hello! Hello! Good to see ya, old friend. Legitimately, you're probably much more useful than Fickle Barrier for us. Especially considering the average duration of these fights. The enemy's got an 8x3 going on here. I know that's something Chaotic Moment has something to say about. Get Extract within a castable range. Let's gain a Vitality and then toggle Bloodlust for this turn. chance so that Vindictive Strike is a lot better right now. Actually, with another 4 in Vindictive Strike, I now have the ability to use Extract for Lethal this turn. Gain my HP again. Thank you kindly. Gold, Iron Skin Potion, not relevant to us really. Roaring Embers, I'll re-roll that because I didn't want it last time and I still don't want Fireball. Hammer of Mana, -1 to count down all spells each turn. That does seem actually quite useful. My shard would only even go to upgrading Chaotic Moment, or upgrading Fickle Barrier so that it's 1 cooldown, in which case it would be much better if I had the Hammer of Mana. What don't I want to... Well, I don't want to use Falling Fire in the next fight. If I don't want to use Falling Fire in the next fight, because I'm not going to have AoE as a concern of mine, then... What if I did offer my Falling Fire? Right? So think of it like this. If I offer Falling Fire to get the shard back from it, and then put that shard in Fickle Barrier to give it 1 block, and then take the Hammer of Mana here, the Fickle Barrier will auto-cast at the start of every single turn, giving me 4 block. Cool, that's nice. Then anytime Tempest triggers, it will trigger the Fickle Barrier again, giving us another 4 block. Also pretty cool. If I attack 3 times in a turn, that's not always attacks that are countdown, but oftentimes we are going to end up with a surprising amount of block without actually blocking. I'm taking the Hammer of Mana. Wait, I just preset myself for the next fight. Oops. It's okay. How bad can it get? Oh no, we'll take 1 damage this turn. My favorite instance of damage to take. Crescendo immediately kills the summon. Unless I want to let Vindictive Strike try and take out the summon. Which I actually will. Goodbye, enemy. Hello, gold. And weakness gas. Iron Guard, reroll, Flamestorm. 6 damage 4 times to a random enemy. Nope. So yeah, in this sanctuary, I must offer a spell, and I must offer the spell, Falling Fire. Disenchant to get to reclaim a shard, and then I can use that shard to give Fickle Barrier a cooldown. These are definitely the best things I can take into the fight. Let's go, Arcanax! I'm ready to die! 22 incoming damage. I expect to take about 22, give or take, another 22 this turn. Mana Purification hits a 6, which I will roll into Heatwave. And then I Fickle Barrier up a couple more times. I even leave myself with a Guiding Eye for the extra foresight in the next turn, which is going to help me unlock Burning both ends if I really want to cast it. And I do, because it's good. Let's get that Vitality out on the board, as well as the Bloodlust. Can turn the Bloodlust off at the end of the turn. I want to do as much damage as possible this turn, you see. Unlock Burning both ends. And then I'm gonna... double that up into a 6 and then use it in Burning both ends. Losing 6 HP, I'm gaining another 2 back. And I'm casting Vindictive Strike as well. Perfect. Gain some power while we do this as well. I can throw another 5 into Burning both worlds to do the same again, and I will. And then I'd really, really love if I could get you down to your threshold this turn without using Crescendo. That seems best accomplished by throwing a Vindictive Strike at you. That'll cast Fickle Barrier from Tempest, and then hit Bloodlust off this turn, so that I'm taking 7 less damage. Ooh, 31 incoming, rough. There's a Crescendo for only 27. Casts Fickle Barrier twice, though. I do love throwing Burning both ends at the enemy. I almost wonder if I should take a turn with my foot off the gas, though. Can I afford to take any turns with my foot off the gas? I suspect not. Also another double Burning both ends on the enemy. Free cast a bunch of Fickle Barriers there. Definitely going to want Heat Wave rolling a bunch of times this turn also. Perfect time for chaotic moment as well. I believe I have the kill. I cast... Let's talk it out first. I cast Lifelock. It gives me a Vitality die. It also gives me a wound. Right, the Vitality allows me to heal back up while I'm taking damage. That's not really relevant. It just gives me an additional die. I turn Bloodlust on. I... do I? I guess I do Mana Purify. I Mana Purify my 4 up into another 6. I throw a 6 into Burning Both Ends. I strike the enemy for 58 damage. I hit them... Oh, before that, sorry, I also use Burning Vial, which will cast Fickle Barrier as well as get Vindictive Strike to only 1 from casting. No, that won't work. That won't work. I need to kill you next turn. So I need as many die as possible so that I can Chaotic Moment a bunch. Yeah, next turn is the kill turn. I'll have more critical available by then as well. In fact, if I really wanted to, I could actually get the party started a little. Okay. I'm not going to have to worry about the end of the turn triggers. We roll the additional die from the Balanced Mana Bell. We get our 2 additional critical. Hammer of Mana, decrease the cost of things. There's Vitality, and here's some Bloodlust. We'll drop a single 2 into Vindictive Strike, and then Burning Both Ends, rather, hits the enemy for 80 with a critical, and then triggers Vindictive Strike for another 62 off of the back of it. I didn't think these worked! More fool me. I was wrong. These do work. You can play in the archetype of health loss with Azar. I even did it without being able to draft things. That worked out surprisingly well. I'm pretty dang proud of that run. But we have still yet to unlock the signature D, and I would love to see what your new loadout is, Azar. We'll be making our way towards that in the next episode, though, for the moment, my name is Rhapsody, the name of the game has been SpellRogue. Top left is a series playlist from my content of the game past, present, and future. YouTube recommendation down below, streaming past the names of the people who are generally supporting the Republican patreon.com/Rhapsody plays at or above the thanked in. A special thanks this episode to Sorathil.